Walsh drills one to center. He's at the wall, and that baby's gone. And we are walking off at the Coliseum. It's the time of year when every game counts, and the A's are showing for a second straight season that they are a group of guys that never gives up. The pennant race is heating up, and the Athletics are right in the thick of it. Stay tuned. Game 2, A's Mariners, next. Well, the A's and their fans had a walk-off win last night, and maybe again tonight. They're just going to try to get another W over Joe Saunders and the Seattle Mariners. And for the A's, they're going to send the rookie, Sonny Gray. So a rookie right-hander against a veteran left-hander. That is your pitching matchup tonight. Game 2 of the 3-game series. It's the Oakland A's and the Seattle Mariners, and it's coming up right here on Comcast Sportsnet, California. Hi again, everybody. Welcome to Oakland A's Baseball, along with Ray Fosse. I'm Glenn Kuiper. So Sonny Gray, we've seen him twice in relief. We've seen him twice as a starter, and he's been terrific each time, Ray, but not a whole lot. Can't get much better than his last start.
Yeah, a lot of composure, a lot of poise for a young man making just his second start here at the Coliseum, third overall against the Astros. You can say all you want about it's the Astros, but they're still a major league team. He had an outstanding curveball, sneaky fastball, movement on his fastball. When you strike out 9 batters at the major league level, and you throw 118 pitches, and you're about 110th pitch thrown at 94 miles per hour, it says that you know how to pitch. And I think Sonny Gray showed last Thursday, and he's going to show a lot. He knows how to pitch at the major league level.
No secrets with Joe Saunders, the Mariners starter tonight. This is the 4th time he started against the A's, and really his whole career, he's pitched very well against the Athletics.
You know, he's a smart pitcher, Kai, but I think that's the biggest thing, because depending what the hitters are doing, he will pitch accordingly. Up at Safeco Field, he pitched one way, here at the Coliseum a different way. Sneaky fastball, he'll pitch inside. He's not really overpowering, although because he can throw off-speed pitches, it makes his fastball seem that much quicker. There you could see a lot of off-speed pitches here at the Coliseum, but really the approach with so many right-handed hitters, if you think opposite field and just react on fastballs inside, you probably have a pretty good chance.
All right, so the A's a half game back in the AL West behind those Texas Rangers. We'll keep an eye on their game against the Houston Astros. So we'll have lineups and first pitch when we come back to the O.co Coliseum. It's the A's, and it's the Mariners, and it's coming up on Comcast Sportsnet, California.
California, is brought to you by Jack in the Box. Go big at a participating Jack in the Box with Jack's really big chicken sandwich combos for only $3.99 plus tax.
Sonny Gray and the Athletics have taken the field. So we're set for baseball from the Coliseum tonight, A's and the Mariners. And let's check out the game time weather. It's presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. Get to the beach. The admission-free boardwalk is now open daily. It's a bit cooler tonight, and it's like last night, a little bit breezy. So it's 67 degrees, and the wind gusts at 20 miles per hour, so could come into play. We shall see.
As long as it's not blowing in.
No.
Hit him like Brandon Moss did last night, the low line drive. Doesn't matter what the wind's blowing, but the ball doesn't carry well at night.
Lineup for the Seattle Mariners has Brad Miller leading off and playing shortstop. Nick Franklin will play second. Kyle Seager's at third. Kenrys Morales is the DH. And then Raul Ibanez in left. Justin Smoke at first. Mike Morris is in there tonight. He's in right field. Michael Saunders is in center. And Henry Blanco is the catcher.
Third start overall, second consecutive here at the Coliseum for right-hander Sonny Gray. The start against the Astros was outstanding. How about the earned run average? 1. So that's pretty good for the youngster, but 118 pitches. That was Thursday, and should not have any effect on him as he was throwing very hard in the latter part of the game.
Quick look at the defense for the Athletics. Cespedes, Young, and Reddick in the outfield. Donaldson, Sogard, Callaspo, Fryman in the infield. And Derek Norris is the catcher. So Brad Miller steps in, and we're set for baseball. Game 2 of the series.
One constant, at least for Sonny Gray, this being the third start, Derek Norris has been the catcher of the 2 previous starts, which helps to have some familiarity with regard to the catcher.
And the first pitch of the ball game is on the inside corner, called a strike to Brad Miller.
And that is definitely nothing against Stephen Vogt, who's doing an outstanding job, especially throwing out base runners. It just happens to be a left-handed pitcher against the Athletics again.
Second pitch of the game is looped to shallow center. Sogard gets out there in left center, and he's got it for out number 1. Umpires tonight has Paul Schreiber calling balls and strikes. Chad Fairchild at first. The crew chief, Jeff Kellogg, is at second with Eric Cooper down at third.
Stephen Vogt, who is and did catch last night's Jared Parker, who's sitting to his right. Second pitch of the game, Stephen Vogt threw out Miller at second base on a busted hit and run. Great way to start the game, and just a very well played game for the Athletics.
Franklin takes a strike, 1-1 the count. Franklin, a switch hitter. There's the hero from last night.
You're a hero one night, you get to be a cheerleader the next night. Brandon Moss said he did not think even the ball he hit in the 9th inning was going to go out. Just not carrying very well at all. Thought his comment cut that he had Jed Lowry ask him, said, how's the ball carrying in the Coliseum? He says, oh, you'll like it. He said, it's, you know, misconception is the ball doesn't carry, but that's not true. Last year, but he said this year it is not carrying nearly as well as it did last year. And Jed Lowry probably have seen him shake his head more times than anybody, especially here. That high fastball up in the zone, and always a pitch when it's a mid-90s in that area. Very difficult for a hitter, lefty or righty, to catch up to it.
2-2 to Franklin, with Kyle Seager waiting in the on-deck circle. And that one rolled toward Callaspo. And he picks it up, and that's out number 2. Let's check out our Ford right choice, and here it is, the walk-off home run fastball down around the knees. It was the right-handed reliever Carter Capps who gave it up. 7th walk-off win of the season for the Athletics. for Moss, his 4th career walk-off home run. 3rd time he's done it with the Athletics.
The other one was the 19-inning game against the Angels. About 1:35, 1:45 in the morning.
Seager hitting .282 with 19 home runs and 59 RBIs. It's that one foul. The Rangers game is in the top of the 6th inning. The Astros 2 and the Rangers 1. Top of the 6th. Cozart, Jared Cozart. You've seen him a couple times for the Astros, pitching very well down in Arlington tonight.
Travis Blackley was scheduled for the Rangers.
And he pitched fairly well also, but Blackley is now out of the game.
So the 54 last year worn by Travis Blackley, worn by Sonny Gray this year. Blackley pitched well for the Athletics in various capacities. Starter, reliever, great pickoff.
Setting up inside, and the fastball runs inside. 2-2 the count. Mariners had 8 hits last night. Just the 1 run. All 8 were singles. They did not draw a walk in the game. And they struck out 8 times. Curve and a good one. Strike 3 call. 3 up, 3 down inning for Sonny Gray with a strikeout. Bottom of the 1st coming up. No score. Their lineup. The leadoff man is Jed Lowrie, and Lowry's going to DH. Then it's Norris to catcher, Donaldson at 3rd, Cespedes in left, Fryman at 1st, Young in center, Reddick in right, Callaspo at 2nd, Sogard at short.
And the veteran left-hander Joe Saunders, and fastball, curveball, slider, changeup, and fastball low 90s to an 4-seam fastball. It says his 4th start against the A's this season. He lost the first one, but he's won the last 2, and he's pitched very well in those last 2. But overall, the 24th start against the Athletics, pitching a lot of those for the Angels.
Abanez is in left, Saunders in center, Michael Morris is in right, Seager, Miller, Franklin Smoke on the infield, and Henry Blanco is the catcher tonight. So the veteran left-hander Joe Saunders pitching against the A's again. And he pours a fastball in on the outside corner. 283 the average for Lowrie with 9 home runs, 49 RBIs. 1 for 4 last night. That 1 hit was a double. Coco Crisp not in the lineup again tonight. He's gave it a shot with Coco, but he's not feeling quite 100%.
Well, it might have something to do with the lefty and batting right-handed last night against batting left-handed against the righty last night as a switch hitter. And sometimes an injury will affect a switch hitter one way or the other. Here, Harang pitched well for 7 innings. Looked like he might have left with a lead. His team could not score.
Lowry pokes it to right, and it drops fair, and he's going to have extra bases. Morris cannot pick it up clean, and Lowry is going to end up at third with a triple, leading off the bottom of the first.
Well, the approach was outstanding. And against Joe Saunders, he likes to live in the outside part of the plate. He'll show inside of the right-handers. Change up away. Jed Lowry just poked to the right field, and well explained, because Morris down the corner, ball just kept slicing, and once it got down to the corner, Morris initially could not get to it, and once it hit the wall and just kind of rolled around the outfield, that's when Jed Lowry picked up the speed, picked up his third base coach, and made it into third, really without a throw.
So Lowry with a leadoff triple. That's his first triple of the year. And here's Norris. Middle infielders are back. Corner infielders in a little bit. Norris hitting .231 with 8 home runs and 25 runs batted in. Missed again, 2-0. So that batting average for Derek Norris slowly creeping its way up. He was down in the low 200s for a long time, but 12 hits in his last 30 at bats will certainly help.
Chili Davis, a great switch hitter in his own right, didn't have to worry about platoons. I think what Derek Norris and Stephen Vogt are doing, as well as Fryman and Moss at first, so you get the platoons being used by the skipper. It's remarkable how well they have performed, considering. In the case of Brandon Moss, big home run last night, but he is sitting tonight, at least not starting.
3-1 now to Norris, so he took one. He probably will not take another one.
And that one might have been ball 4 down the lower part of the strike zone. A gift run is there for the taking, infield all the way back.
And that one is past Smoke, and that's down the right field line. And that's going to be an RBI single, and 2 batters into the bottom of the first. The A's have a 1-0 lead.
I wonder if Derek plays pool. They chalk up to Houston. That ball, big swing at 90, but off the end of the batter towards the end, but really a great approach, just kind of flipped it past Smoke at first base, and that's outstanding hitting, especially in the 3-1. Stayed with a fastball at 90. Cued it to right field. I think if he's running a little better, because he's had some back spasms, he might have had a double out of that.
So his 7th hit to right field this year. And this one knocks in a run. He's got 26 RBIs now. And here's Donaldson, who takes the first pitch strike.
Joe Saunders and Henry Blanco, the veteran catcher, will stay in the outside part of the plate, the right-hand hitters, until he finds the location that Schreiber is going to call it, as he did in the first pitch to Donaldson.
This one's popped up foul. Just below us, and a fan who was just walking up the ramp. He said, I'm just going to play the bounce. And it bounced right to him, and he's gone.
He's gone.
There he is. Yeah, I'm just going to look for my seat. Got it. See ya. Leaves on a high note. Fastball is away. 1-2 the count.
Sonny Gray on Thursday pitched the top of the first inning. Did well, sat down the dugout. His club scored him 3 runs. So from that point, Sonny Gray had 3-run lead after 1 inning, looking for his first major league victory, and He did go 8 innings. Grossman got a couple of hits off of him. That's pretty much it. The Astros. But it's one thing to put up zeros, but your club's not scoring you runs. And you have to wonder, I'm pitching well, am I going to get some offense? And it's nice that he got the run support. Nate Fryman, big day for the big, tall first baseman. That was against Eric Bedard. A few of the pitchers haven't gotten a lot of run support. And last night it looked like Jared Parker was going to leave after 9 innings with only 1 run on the board.
So 2-2 the count to Donaldson. Cespedes waits in the on-deck circle. Triple and a single, and the A's have a run. Foul right side. Couple nice plays already in this ball game by the fans.
That's pretty good. Dave Stewart sitting with him, pitching a shutout.
Stu, yeah.
Throwing that great forkball.
That one's drilled left field, and that baby is gone, and it's 3-0. Donaldson with a line shot to left center. So home run number 18.
Well, you said it best. You got a triple and a single to right field. Watch him pull the hands in on a 91 fastball. Joe Saunders tried to sneak one in. Josh Donaldson was all over it. A line drive wouldn't get high enough to get over the out-of-town scoreboard, just barely, because it was a rocket. And just barely, but just enough. And a big 2-run home run. So as last Thursday was the case, 3 runs already in the first inning, first 3 batters.
And Cespedes hits one hard, but right at Miller, the shortstop, and that's out number 1.
You know, these other pitchers are saying, Sonny, it's not that easy to get all the runs. Don't take it all.
First baseman, number 7.
It's tough, Joe Saunders.
Fryman.
So Fryman steps in. And the first pitch to Fryman is in for a strike. Fryman hitting .282 with 3 home runs, 22 runs batted in. Takes inside. So triple single home run now. The A's with the 3 spot. And that one's launched to left. And that baby's gone. 4-0 A's.
Thursday, he played Sunday. This is Tuesday. The highest tunnel in baseball for the 6'8" Nate Fryman. Change up, and he crushed it. No doubt at this time. Josh Donaldson's on the line, but he knew about halfway to first that it was gone, and way gone. 4-hit game against Eric Bedard and the Astros last Thursday, including a home run and a big one tonight.
So a 4 spot for the A's here in the bottom of the first. So a non-Astros home run. Last 5 starts, Joe Saunders 21 earned runs in 24 1/3 innings for an ERA of nearly 8.
Well, as a pitching coach, of course, wanting some innings from his veteran.
And the 3-0 pitch in for a strike to Young. And a 3-1 pitch that just misses outside, and it's a walk.
Nate Fryman just again not playing a lot, but when he gets the opportunity against the lefty, an 83-mile-an-hour changeup, and kept the bat, and he just reacted. Upper body strength, tremendous. I think that's a good one, because otherwise you have to shake everybody's hand if you get a home run. You could just go through it and be happy with it. See, Nate got a haircut, did cut all his power off. It's pretty good.
Batting in the 7th position.
Sonny Graven wants to hit.
Number 16, Josh Reddick.
Just looking at a couple of pitchers that get no run support. Tommy Milone and Dan Straley. He's got a bat in his hand. I don't think they're happy. Take it if you can get it.
Reddick hitting .218, 10 homers, 46 RBIs. He was 1 for 4 last night, scored a run. And there's a strike. 1-1 the count.
You know, at the time, it really ended up being 1 run, but his base running with the fly ball to left field, first and second, and he tagged to get to third, and with Donaldson's ground ball, he was able to score. As the Mariners were not able to turn it up play. That's the only run the A's had until the walk-off.
A small, what seems like maybe a small thing, but he did it, and the Mariners got a guy thrown out at third when he should never been thrown out at third. You know, one team doing the right thing, the other team doing the wrong thing.
Talking to Darren Brown, who is at third base coaching for Jeff Datz, who after some treatments, got some treatments in his back, but not at third base. But I'd say the one thing that Morales said, he was running okay until he turned around for some reason.
That's right. Yep.
And that's why he couldn't believe when he saw that. And he's yelling to slide, slide, slide. He never did.
Yeah, he wasn't running slowly. He was fine. But you're right. When he turned around, then he almost came into a trot, and then at that point he was in big trouble.
Yeah.
So he slowed down and did not slide. 2-2 pitches, bounce foul at the plate. Now there's a good look. Watch Kendrys Morales. Now he really is. He's going to make it. I don't want to say easily, but
this is the one that Smoke hit down the line, and this is where it didn't even think there was going to be a play. But Reddick maybe saw him do that, and all of a sudden he gets to third, and Morales is out twice. Actually, if he's not tagged the first time, he overran the bag, but when he rounded the bag at second, again, the old thing that I like to compare it to is riding a bicycle. When you turn around and look, you're going to slow down, and you just cannot keep your speed when you're doing that. But again, you don't know what would happen after that, because some lefties were coming up. That's first and third, 3 hits in the inning.
And they're going to get Chris Young at first base. Saunders with a pretty good move, and Young was hung out there. So that's the second out here in the first inning.
Well, he was going to go on what was be a first move. We have seen that happen both for the A's and against the A's. But Joe Saunders is a smart pitcher, left-handed. I mean, he's looking right at the runner. Sees him take off. All he has to do is step off, which he did. Chris Young thought maybe he had the move, and quick tag by Smoke at first base. Got it.
And the 3-2 pitch is outside, and it's a walk. So second walk by Saunders in what is now a 35 pitch first inning. So the 8th man to bat in the inning is Alberto Callaspo. And that one is lined toward left center field, and that's a base hit. Reddick will dig around second, and he'll go to third. And the inning continues on the Callaspo base hit.
First pitch fastball, no reason to wait around, especially for a pitcher who throws a very good changeup, good curveball. And already bullpen activity for the Mariners. There's Callaspo. Low fastball hitter, got the low fastball, and Saunders able to cut the ball off. So the pickoff right now is big for Joe Saunders.
It's the only thing he's got going right now. So Sogard hits. 5 hits in the inning for the A's and 2 walks. No, not to be outdone by home runs, Ray. Adrian Beltre just hit a 2-run homer. And the Texas Rangers have taken a 3-2 lead over the Astros. 7th inning.
Try to hold the Rangers down 1 run for 6-7 innings. They get upset.
Yeah. The 0-2 pitch to Sogard, and he just stays in there.
My good friend Shooty Babbitt was talking about scoreboard watching.
Yeah.
I think when the Rangers are playing the Astros, and nothing against the Astros because they still think they're going to be good and they are better, you don't look at the scoreboards.
Well, you're going to get frustrated
if you're expecting. That's just really not going to happen. And they are getting better. Against the Rangers, they're not playing.
That one is drilled toward Ibanez and left, who's hustling over, and he's got it. Side retired. A's do big damage. They score 4 times on 5 hits, a couple of home runs, Donaldson and Fryman. So we are 3-1 at the Coliseum. It's the A's 4 and the Mariners nothing. RBI single, 4-0. The A's lead after 1 inning. So Sonny Gray's got some runs to work with. And he's also got a lot of ball game to navigate through as he faces Morales, Ibanez, and Smoke here in the 2nd inning. And the first pitch is a strike.
What he did on Thursday, getting the 3 runs in the 1st inning, he pitched the game as if it was a close game, and it was. I mean, you never look at 3 or 4 runs as being a blowout, but he pitched well and took it to the end. 8 solid innings, combined shutout.
Those are the 2 starts. First one decent at Toronto, a couple of unearned runs, and then the great start against Houston.
That's a great chase pitch with 2 strikes. Threw the curveball in the dirt, almost got Morales to swing. Started, did hold it up according to Eric Cooper. And Derek Morse doing a good job of blocking the ball with 2 strikes.
Two now. Ibanez will be next, and then Smoke. Fastball in under the hands, and that is strikeout number 2 for Sonny Gray.
And he threw the 2-2 curveball to Seager to strike him out, called strike 3, and then think about 2-2, but here comes a fastball, so he can use a fastball, curve, and then especially a pitch that cut a little bit off the plate on the inside. Tommy Kim showing the movement. Some movement on his fastball, but 65% of a fastball variety, and then of course the curveball. You don't see a lot of true curveball thrown almost a quarter of the time.
So here's Ibanez, 251 with 25 homers, 59 RBIs. Wasn't for 4 last night. .40 pitches for Saunders in that 1st inning. And that one is ripped down the right field line, and it is fair. Ibanez hustling for 2. The throw coming in, and it's just a bit late. Ibanez has a 1-out double.
Josh Reddick never concedes anything, does he? That ball was a bullet, 1 hop off the wall. And you watch Reddick. Ibanez is not surprised to see him turn on a fastball. But the ball down in the corner, and Ibanez, if he's not running hard, he's going to get thrown out. But this ball comes off the wall, barehand by Reddick, and comes up throwing. A strike to second base, and it forces the hitter to have to slide on a ball that should have been coasting into second base. But I really appreciate what Reddick does in the outfield with just everything, every time he thinks he can throw somebody out.
That ball hit hard, but Fryman scoops it up, so Smoke is retired. Ibanez to 3rd with 2 outs. Well, you think about how Cespedes plays the ball off the wall, and Reddick the same.
That's right.
I don't know that, certainly we don't see other teams all that much, but I got to believe that those 2 guys play the balls off the wall as well as most guys.
Yeah.
I mean, they get it and they come up throwing.
And both with very strong arms, and more times than not, very accurate throws.
Yep. So here's Michael Morse. Morse fouls it straight back.
Seeing some early swings from the Mariners, and of course, minimal scouting report on Sonny Gray, but more than likely see that he's got a good fastball, but even more so, a great curveball. And hitters, when they swing early looking fastball, they don't want to take a chance to get to the point where they're going to see a curveball.
There's a strike. So 0-2 to Michael Morse. Swing and a miss, and that's another strikeout for Sonny Gray. His third in the game, and Ibanez is stranded at third. 4-0 A's after an inning and a half. News brought to you by Cache Creek Casino Resort. Cache Creek's endless summer's waves of cash every day. Visit cachecreek.com for details. Nice night here in Oakland, with the A's leading 4-0, bottom of the second inning. The Rangers are leading 3-2 over the Astros, going to the top of the 8th inning in Arlington. Here's your AL West update. Lowry opened up the bottom of the first by tripling down the right field line. That pitch right there is the pitch he hit down the right field line. Change up on the outside corner, maybe even a bit outside. He just kind of reached for it and flicked it to right.
Great job of staying back, especially if you know the pitcher is going to throw a lot of change ups. That time that's what pitchers will do. They'll remember what a hitter did the last time. That was a fastball they rolled over, but it becomes almost a guessing game. But as a hitter, you try to stay back as much as possible. You think opposite field. 77% of the time, it's fastball or changeup. So you guess 50-50 and hope you're right.
Two and two now to Lowry. That triple for Lowry was his first of the year. Let's not forget, he's got 33 doubles. That leads the team. And now full count. That one bounced right up the middle, backhanded by the second baseman Franklin, but nothing he can do with it, and Lowry has a hit.
That is amazing, right over the mound. I mean, he could not have drawn more of a straight line from home plate to second base, right over the mound, and watch Big Joe Saunders falling off. And look where the ball is. He's trying to flip back with the glove, but once he got past him and the direction headed to center field, that's just about the difference of a pitcher following through. You see them fall off just enough for the ball to go to the mound. That's frustrating for them. They have to be a fielder, and Joe Saunders was not on that one.
So hit number 6 for the A's, and here's Norris. Norris hit a ball down the right field line for an RBI single in that first inning. Chop slowly toward the right side. Franklin has it. He'll get the out at first. So moving to second is Lowry, 1 out. So the A's have a runner in scoring position for Donaldson, who did this in the first inning.
You talk about just reacting. What a great job of getting a fastball in and just reacting on what was about a 91-mile-an-hour fastball.
Batting in the fourth position.
I think what Reddick or Donaldson was maybe thinking, I can sit soft. If you throw me a changeup, I'll hit it, but I can react quickly enough on a fastball. And not to say 91 is not hard, but if you have a quick bat, as Donaldson does, you can handle the fastball in.
More action to the right side. Franklin has it, and that's out number 2, with Lowry now going to third. So 2 outs for Cespedes. Couple of home runs for the A's already in this game. 45-5 record when they out homer their opponent. So that would be the case last night.
Yep.
1-0 in the home run department, and a win for the A's. A's are 10th in the league in home runs hit, 129 now with the 2 tonight. So they will not hit as many as they did last year. They were teeing off last year.
Well, last year Chris Young would have had 2 more home runs because the 2 he hit against Houston, 1 caught, 1 just fouled. Last year those are home runs, and that was the magical season for the A's last year.
Oh, 0-2 to Yoenis Cespedes, who grounded to short in the first inning. Fastball is way high. There's a bullet right into the glove of Seager, who goes down to one knee, grabs it, side retired. Probably cannot hit a ball harder than Cespedes just hit it, but it's an out. Career complete game. And when he walked off the mound, he still didn't know if he was going to get a W or not. And he did, thanks to Brandon Moss. But what a performance. Right at 100 pitches, Ray.
Well, he knew one thing when he walked off. He wasn't going out for the 10th.
No, that's true.
And as he was telling us, he told Kurt Young it's going to be an opposite field home run. When I'd say center field's an oppo. If you go center field or the other direction for Brandon Moss, left field or center field. But for 100 pitches, and I think, of course, after the fact, nobody knew, but that man, Bob Melvin, knew, Kurt Young knew, that he did not want to use a lot of guys, if anybody, out of the bullpen. It was a little bit light, and he would say after the fact that there were at least 3 that he probably did not want to use, and turned out didn't have to use anybody. So a great performance.
Saunders to lead it off, followed by Blanco and Miller. There's really only one stress inning for Parker last night. That was the 7th, I believe, when the Mariners did score their 1 run.
Created by Jared Parker.
Yeah, that's right.
On the sacrifice that he threw the ball away. And in hindsight, fortunately, that ball didn't go so far that the runner could score. As it stayed close enough that keep him at third.
3-0 to Saunders, hitting .235 with 10 home runs. Saunders had a couple of hits last night. And he takes low, and that's a 4-pitch walk leading off the third. Here's Cash Creeks playing the numbers. 8 starters in the last 6 games, 2-1 record with a 1.33 ERA. Innings per start. Pitching into the 7th inning per average. That makes a big difference. The bullpens, whether they're good bullpens or bad bullpens, had a lot of work at this point in the season. I think something that maybe goes unnoticed by maybe the fans, but how much a manager and the pitching coach try to keep each guy in the bullpen strong, and that is very hard to do.
Well, consistent with the number of appearances for a relief pitcher, and it's all mapped out. And Kurt Young, A's pitching coach, I mean, that's his responsibility. He does a tremendous job. As all those guys in the bullpen realize they will not be overworked. The only time really we've seen that was last year, the final week of the regular season, when the A's were trying to catch the Rangers, and Doolittle, Cook, and Balfour in particular, about 5 or 6 consecutive games in a row.
Special circumstances.
Yeah. Dan Otero, the picture, the young man in the picture right there, has done a tremendous job as he will nick in the Bay Bridge. He's been bridging the gap quite well.
But there's games like you just said last night where we may not even know it. There may be 2, 3, there may be 4 relievers that are probably not available, or certainly the manager wants to stay away from them as much as he can.
And there's a reason that that's not public knowledge, because for the other side,
sure,
for example, if Sean Doolittle is not available, maybe there's going to be a lefty that will be put in the lineup question, or at least to hit, and not have to worry about the hard throwing lefty coming out of the bullpen, just as an example. So it's those things are kept confidentially. Nice block by Derek Norris, and good block because you have good speed in Saunders at first, but the fact that you kept it close enough to him. Saunders down 4 runs, did not want to run into an out with him at first as a leadoff hitter.
So 2-2 to Blanco.
Blanco will always be known, at least from the A's fan standpoint, catching one of his first games. Felix Hernandez, last time the Mariners were in town. Bases loaded, fastball inside, first pitch grand slam. That's right. King Felix, and of course he picked up the win. He was catching King.
Blanco signed on the 14th of June after being released by the Blue Jays on the 10th of June. Yeah. And that was on the 15th of June.
That's right. He's a veteran. If he doesn't hit at all, he's a good catcher and handling the pitching staff. Right now the A's hoping for a ground ball.
Saunders not running, and it's a swing and a miss, and that is strikeout number 4 for Sonny Gray.
It's a good pitch, especially to come back the way he did. Started 0-2, went to 3-2, but his sinker and the ball really running down and in started outside as Derek Norris was holding the target.
So
that was kind of the intact mode. Anything close, he's going to be swinging.
Kind of like the Mariners catcher from last couple of years, Miguel Olivo. Yeah, he was going to let it rip at anything close as well.
That's right. It was a shock when he didn't swing.
Or if he walked, it was practically a miracle.
If he walked, the pitcher should be released. That's how rare it was for him to even get to the point where a walk was a possibility.
That one bounced. Fryman's got it on a dive. Flips to Gray, and that is out number 2. What a play. Helps to be 6-8. He launched that big body to his right, and he made a heck of a play.
Well, that's a great description because that's about what he did. He just flat out launched it right there. Just took a one step and then just look how far he goes when he takes the one step right there and then lays it out. And, of course, a 6-8 frame and the stretch on top of it. That's a base hit, first and third instead. Runner at second and 2 outs thanks to a great play by Nate Fryman. I mean, that is a tremendous leap all out to his right. But the one thing he has talked about, granted he's not playing as much because he's been platoon, but he said, I feel like I want to play better defensively. I mean, when you don't play that much, you got a lot to work on. And Chili Davis said, there's nobody that asks for more extra batting practice than Nate Fryman, and Skipper knows that he's always taking ground balls, working on his skill at first base, and that play showed all the hard work's paying off.
Lifted to right, and that's hit well. Reddick's going back. He's near the wall, and Franklin has homered, and the Mariners are on the board. It's now 4-2. Number 11 for Nick Franklin.
Well, thankfully, Nate Fryman made a great play. Otherwise, that's a 3-run home run if the same thing would have occurred, but maybe not the same pitch. Sonny Gray throws the mid-90s with a fastball. That was not a fastball. 87 hitter zone, and Franklin got under. So location wasn't exactly where he wanted it. And Franklin, like a lot of the Mariners hitters, double figures of home runs.
So here's Kyle Seager, and that one almost hit him. Yeah, that's for the Mariners home run number 148 on the year, 3rd most in the American League. So they have done a nice job hitting the long ball this year. 1-1 to Seager, who struck out looking in the first inning. We've said this before, Ray, but sometimes, in fact, probably more often than not, home runs help you catch up in a game. It's really getting 3-4 runs in an inning without a home run is very difficult to do. Good pitch there, and it's 2-2.
Franklin hit the 2-run home run, but the one player who's very appreciative, Joe Saunders, because now after giving up 4 runs and looking at a goose egg from his standpoint, now it's a 4-2 game, and has to feel a lot better about taking them out in the bottom of the 3rd.
Seager skies one to center. Young is going back. He's got room out there. Side retired. Nick Franklin, the rookie second baseman, with his 11th home run of the year. Bottom of the 3rd coming up. It's the A's 4 and the Mariners 2.
MLB mobile game from MLB.com. Available on iPhone and iPad. Download free today.
Fryman to lead it off. He had a solo home run in the first inning. It's a 4-2 game. The A's lead here in the bottom of the third. As we were talking about last inning, Joe Saunders probably feels a lot better now.
Yes, he does.
He's back in the game.
Leadoff hit by Lowry last inning, but then retired the next 3.
Fryman will be followed by Young and Reddick. 5, 6, and 7 hitters in the A's lineup. That one catches the inside corner, 2-1. Rangers still leading the Astros 3-2 in the bottom of the 8th inning. Didn't have to be a strike.
No, it didn't.
Hit hard, but foul. So you see Saunders continuing to pound the inside part of the plate to Fryman in this at bat.
Well, this is a changeup in that first inning, and you see the look on Joe Saunders. When you give up home runs, you make a mistake. You don't really have to watch the fly of the ball. Sound of the bat, and you know that the location of the pitch not where you wanted it.
Three-two is inside, and it's a leadoff walk. That's walk number 3 for Saunders. And that's one of those little things that will drive the manager crazy.
Especially if it just hit.
Exactly. 2 runs back, and you walk the leadoff guy the next half inning. Here's Chris Young. Not great in shutdown innings. And the first pitch is outside. 40 pitches in the first inning for Joe Saunders. Broken bat, backhanded by Miller, out at second. The throw to first in time, and that was a nifty double play. 6-4-3 Miller to Franklin to Smoke.
And one thing that made that play and turned it into a double play, you don't expect to with Chris Young running, but well, you just think, hey, I got a base hit, and all of a sudden you have to bust it down the line to avoid what turned out to be a double play. But you're right, Miller, like Brendan Ryan, the outstanding defensive shortstop for the Mariners, this time he reached to his right, and Miller flipped it to his second baseman, and Franklin turned it nicely.
0-1 to Reddick. 0-2 to Reddick, because Saunders kind of eased that one in there. So Saunders looking for his easiest inning in this game, obviously. There's your pitches by inning. Just 13 in the second. Stranded Lowry at third. And good sharp breaking ball, and that's his first strikeout. So Reddick strikes out, and we are headed to the 4th. It's the A's 4 and the Mariners 2. AT&T, who are the 4 players in Oakland A's history with more walk-off home runs than the 3 that Brandon Moss has. If you think you know the answer, tweet us at CSN Athletics. That gentleman, very well, could have seen the guy who hit 3 walk-off home runs. Trying to think recent. You'd be able to go back a little further, right?
No, I'm going to say Matt Stairs.
All right.
Yeah,
that's a good call.
I think Matt might have had the record for the most home runs against Japanese-born closers.
Okay, that's probably somewhere out there as a stat.
Oh, yeah. Dave Feldman's down in the booth. David Feldman is in the truck downstairs, and he's probably
he knew that already.
Yelling. He knows exactly. But I remember Matt was always good. Sasaki, who pitched for the Mariners, I want to say he got him.
0-2 to Kendrys Morales, who struck out swinging in the second inning. And he chops this one slowly. And it's picked up by Gray, who takes it himself. Fryman was there. Gray shot right past him.
Did you see Nate look at him? Hey, what you doing, man? That's a great shot. Of course, Nate's so nice. You pat him on the back. You talk about get over and cover the bag. Well, he got it. Nate said it, waiting. And look at Nate. Nate's getting 4 or 5 years. He's not going to be this nice, I don't think. But he's ready to field it, and I got it. And he reaches down. That's a great shot.
Nate's going, you know, those energetic rookies, I tell you. Oh, that's right. I'm a rookie, too. Raul Ibanez doubled in the second inning. Swing and a miss. 1-1. Double for Ibanez was his 16th of the year to go along with his 25 home runs. And that one missed somewhere, 2-1. They are in the bottom of the 9th. They're at the top of the 9th in Arlington. The Rangers added a run in the bottom of the 8th, so it's 4-2 Texas with Joe Nathan trying to save it for the Rangers. Gray's going to have to hustle over. Cayaspo makes a perfect throw. And it's 4-1 on put up, and that's 2 outs. That's not an easy throw for Cayaspo to make, and he threw a strike.
Well, the good thing, and Sonny Gray, the energetic rookie, as you described him, got to the bag. So Cayaspo, smartly, as deep as he was playing after Fryman missed the ball, at least Cayaspo threw to the bag. And Sonny Gray got there, stretched, and like a first baseman. You know, there are a lot of times when a pitcher rushes over to first base, a catcher will walk out, can catch his breath. Derek Norris said, if you're going to take the throw or ground ball by yourself and then you're going to run over there,
you're doing fine. You're in good shape.
Yeah, you're okay. You don't need anybody to slow you down and catch your breath. Plus, Derek's probably saying, my back spasms, I'm not going to walk out when I have to. Derek, a lot of credit, because back spasms are not nice to anybody, much less a catcher, but he is handling it well, getting much better, loosening up nicely.
High fastball, 1-2. Smoke grounded out in the second inning. Smoke was 1 for 4 last night. Fastball, and he swings through that one. And that is strikeout number 5 for Sonny Gray. Bottom of the 4th coming up, 4-2 Athletics. California is brought to you by Sonoma Raceway. Catch the IndyCar GoPro Grand Prix of Sonoma, August 23rd through the 25th. For tickets, go to racesonoma.com. Callaspo to lead it off. It's a 4-2 A's lead, bottom of the fourth inning. That game is a final now in Arlington. The Rangers 4 and the Astros 2. So the Rangers have won the first 2 games of that series with one more to play against Houston. So Texas now 13-2 against the Astros this year. Two and one to Callaspo, who lined a single to center in the first inning. And he lines a single to center here in the fourth inning. So there's your final 4-2. Beltre had the big home run. It was a 2-run shot that gave the Rangers a 3-2 lead. Then they added a run in the bottom of the 8th inning. So the A's trailed the Rangers by 1 in that wild card. The Orioles lost again tonight to the Rays. So the Rays have beat the Orioles 2 games in a row in Baltimore. How about that? Bunted nicely. Saunders, tough play, and he flips it high, and everybody's safe. Beautiful bunt by Sogard, and he's going to get credit for a base hit.
Oh, and you know the pitcher's only play is to flip the ball, which Saunders made a good play, but he flipped it too high, and even the tall Justin Smoke had to jump to make the play. So Eric Sogard smartly, again, just like he did with the safety squeeze against the Rangers, this time perfectly placed. Saunders just flipping it, but the high throw over the head of Smoke. Well, when the ball stays on the grass, the pitcher can't do anything except just try to flip the ball. Smart play by Eric Sogard.
So Saunders in the stretch again. The A's have had their leadoff man on in each of the first 4 innings. So Saunders has really spent pretty much the entire game in the stretch. And Marr is going to get loose. He was warming up in the first inning. And he's a former starter, so he's got some innings in him if he needs to go long.
Started against the A's.
Yeah, early
in April.
Lowry a triple and a single. Lines that one foul right side. So 0-2 to Lowry with Norris waiting in the on-deck circle. .73 pitches for Joe Saunders. He's walked 3 and struck out 1.
So 40 pitches in the first inning. You know it's going to be a quick rise in the pitch count.
Yep.
Not surprised with the bullpen getting loose early.
Now 2-2. Well, Saunders has pitched an awful lot against the A's in the last 5 or 6 years. Ray, he's always one of those guys. He gets in a pretty good groove. He works fairly quickly. That has not been the case tonight at all.
Yeah, he did it up in Seattle the second start. He started against the A's third game of the season and lost, but beat him up in Seattle and then came back and beat him here.
That's a good pitch from Saunders right on the inside corner. So he gets his second strikeout.
Lowry does not think so, but the location, the change of direction, and of course the fastball in, this is what the home plate umpire saw. And if there's ever going to be an umpire where his location's critical, it's on the inside, because that's the way the umpire is set up. You could say Joe Saunders is pitching for another inning.
Yeah, you're right.
Pitching for a spot in the rotation, but pitching for an inning in the case of tonight's game.
Bounce to third. Seager has it out at second, and a pretty nice turn by Franklin on the pivot. And just like that, the inning's over. So the A's had 2 on, nobody out, get nothing out of it, and we are through 4 for 2 A's. Who are the 4 players in Oakland A's history with more walk-off home runs than the 3 that Brandon Moss has with the Athletics? Ricky Henderson has 5. Reggie Jackson has 5. Ray's guest Matt Stairs has 5. And don't forget about Dwayne Murphy. He had 4.
Matt Stairs will always be remembered in Philadelphia for a home run he hit. I think it was against the Dodgers. Late in the game, pinch hit.
That's right.
At Dodger Stadium on their way to.
That was the year they won the World Series, I believe.
Boy, and he crushed it. I want to say it was at Dodger Stadium, and it just silenced the crowd. But he was good. Matt Stairs' philosophy was, I'm going to swing hard, because if I make contact,
they hit it.
And
like that.
Like that.
Young on the move, but Young's going to have just enough room, and grabs it. Michael Morris is retired.
For Michael Morris, early in the season, that's a home run. And he was just off the charts against the A's early in the season.
I looked at his numbers and I was shocked. Yeah. That first 4-game series, he hit 4 home runs and knocked in 6 runs. And now, on the year, he's got 12 homers and only 26 RBIs. It's hard to believe.
And he's been hurt, but still, what he did at the beginning, and it's just what injuries can do for a player. It's unfortunate.
So 1 out for Michael Saunders. Saunders walked and scored in the 3rd inning. That one is a high strike. So 1-1 the count to the tall Michael Saunders. Blanco will be next. And now 3-1. Saunders has been a little bit of a tough out in this series. Pitch number 60 coming up from Sonny Gray. And it's outside, and it's another walk. So Saunders walks for the second time.
And Saunders has not put up the numbers the Mariners had hoped he would.
Henry Blanco.
No, they've been pretty patient with Michael Saunders. Trying to find out if he's an everyday player in the big leagues. On first, and he's got good speed for a tall guy as Blanco hits. And that one hit towards center. But Young is there, and on one pitch, Blanco is retired for out number 2.
Be sure to take advantage of the Xfinity Friday Family Pack presented by Xfinity and co-sponsored by the Contra Costa Times. Every Friday home game, you can get 4 Plaza Level tickets, 4 Coliseum hot dogs, 4 medium Pepsis, and 4 bags of peanuts, and it's just $50. Tickets are limited, so act fast. For more information and tickets, go to oaklandathletics.com/Friday. It's a great deal. Always a great deal.
Here's the leadoff man, Brad Miller. Miller has popped to short and been robbed of a hit by Fryman. So 0 for 2 tonight, 1 for 6 in the series. Quick throw.
A similar lineup that Robbie Thompson has put out tonight to last night's game, and Jared Parker, a great job with all the left-handed hitters, pitching outside, good fastballs, good off-speed pitches, and as Stephen Vogt said, maybe the best changeup he's seen all year from anybody, and he had it working, especially staying outside, getting the hitters to roll over, and it was Saunders late who finally went to the opposite field, left field on the fastball away. But Stephen Vogt, big caught stealing. Second pitch of the game, threw out Miller. A nice double play turn by the A's second inning, but Jared Parker was outstanding. Low pitch count throughout the game to take him through 9 innings with just 100.
That one in for a strike. Looked like Miller was taken all the way. That one hit up the middle. Nice play by Sogard. Spins around and he throws out Miller. Nifty play by the shortstop Sogard, and nothing for the Mariners in the top of the 5th. Bottom of the 5th coming up. Still 4-2 A's.
Tonight presented by Chevron. It's set for Saturday, August 31st after the A's play the Tampa Bay Rays at O'Donnell Coliseum. Bring the family and enjoy the show from the outfield grass. On-field capacity is limited. Purchase a special field level ticket package for the game, which includes a co-branded Green Day and Oakland A's cap. For tickets and information, log on to oaklandathletics.com/Green Day.
So 4-2 A's lead bottom of the 5th inning as Donaldson leads off. He'll be followed by Cespedes and Fryman. Saunders has given up either a hit or a walk in every inning. Of course, the first inning was a big inning, but he gave up a hit in the second leading off, a walk in the third leading off, back-to-back singles leading off the 4th inning. But he has not been scored upon since the first, so he's weaved his way in and out of traffic the last 3 innings.
Get double plays in back-to-back innings after putting base runners on and get you back in the dugout quickly.
Right back to Saunders, who was squared up nicely after he released the pitch. Donaldson is retired, and that's out number 1.
Maybe that's what he was thinking about in the dugout after the ball went into center field. The ball off Jed Lowry's bat in the second inning.
Now batting left fielder.
Just remember what happens, and just a simple correction. Mechanics, but also follow through.
So here's Cespedes. Cespedes, a ground out and then a line out. He had a shot right at Seager, the third baseman, to end the second inning, and it came with a runner at third. Fouls that one back.
Cespedes had a walk-off home run last year against the Dodgers.
Was the final total last year 14?
Walk-offs, including
the postseason. A's have 7 this year. Oh-2 pitch setting up inside, and Cespedes chops it to third, and it's a fair ball. And Seager juggles, and then he throws, and it's not in time. Cespedes thought it was going to go foul. He did not take off out of the box right away, but when he did, he was able to use that speed, and it's going to be a hit.
Watch this. Oh, hit off the plate. He's standing still. He does not even know where the ball is. The ball hit off the plate. Where's the ball? And then he takes off in a sprinter's start after standing there.
He may have hit the ball twice. Watch.
There, and then again. You're right.
He did.
And that's probably the reason he stood the way he did. And he's telling Smoke. Smoke said, what?
So here's Fryman, who takes a fastball inside. So that's hit number 9 for the A's, and again into the stretch for Joe Saunders. Saunders trying to get Fryman to roll over on a pitch. He's looking for another double play ground ball. But Fryman has not done it, and now he's ahead in the count 2-0. That one hit right back to Saunders, and he catches it in the air, flips to first, and that's a double play. So Saunders does a nice job fielding his position that inning and helped himself out. 4-2 after 5.
equipment donations to help benefit local youth baseball leagues before the game. Bring new or gently used equipment to the State Farm booths on Barton Plaza and Gates C and D. Fans who donate equipment will receive a drawstring bag while supplies last and be entered for a chance to win an autographed baseball. Pitch in to help State Farm get communities to a better state. There's the proposal. He proposed, she accepted.
It's all good. Congratulations.
Sonny and Cher saying, I got you, baby. Yep.
And they're on their way. He had it all planned, and it worked to perfection.
Shook the hand of the ring bearer, little boy. Pretty good.
Franklin to lead it off, and he takes a fastball right there for a strike. Franklin, Seager, Morales. The Angels are leading the Indians 1-0 in the top of the 6th inning in Anaheim. The Indians will look at their scoreboard watching tonight. They'll see that the team ahead of them, the Tigers, lost. The team right behind them, the Royals, lost. So they got a chance to make a little move.
And Angels Stadium has a very nice out-of-town scoreboard, so you know they're watching the scoreboard. Playing on the West Coast, or the other team's games already completed.
You know, the Indians in the wild card are only 4.5 games behind the Athletics.
And the Yankees, did they sweep the doubleheader?
Yes, they did.
Day-night doubleheader against Toronto.
Yankees won them both. 3-1 now. So the Yankees trying to hang in there.
Pedro needed one hit going into the nightcap. Did he get it?
I think he did get it.
Pinch ran, didn't play. No. Okay, so he's one away from 4,000 combined. Hit in the afternoon contest.
They swept the Blue Jays today. That one hit toward right center, but Young's going to get back there in front of the wall. He's got it. So that is out number 1. So those are the updated wild card standings. The Rays won, and the games back, Orioles, Indians, Yankees, Royals, are games back of the A's, who are the second wild card team. So the Orioles lost, Indians are playing, Yankees won 2, and the Royals lost. So the Royals have now dropped. So Kansas City now has 3 teams ahead of them. Before they would get to the Athletics. Sometimes the amount of teams you have in between is as important as the games you are back. Seager strikeout and a fly ball to center field. He grounds that one foul. So Seager, maybe the Mariners' best all-around hitter. He's 0 for 6 in the series.
Well, Franklin just hit a ball to left center, right center on a 3-1 pitch. He may be thinking exactly what Brandon Moss has been talking about. Paul doesn't care because he crushed the ball, but he had that look going back to dugouts. What do I have to do? They hit it out. But heavy air makes it difficult.
Sogard charges. He was shifted over that way towards second base. So Seager now 0 for 7 in this series, and that's 2 outs.
And Eric Sogard just moves from second to short and does not miss a beat, all over the place. And one of the unsung heroes of the Athletics just continues to play solid baseball. And this one, he's catching it to the second base side. So in essence, he's playing second base also. His range, and flipping the ball to Nate Fryman. So you're talking about the throw and how little different it is playing shortstop compared to second. And he said he knows he has to get a little bit extra on the throw, so there's a little bit more over the top, knowing he needs the extra strength. And there's the shift with Cayespo on the outfield.
And another breaking ball, and a good one. 0-2, and you see Morales, kind of his setup. He gets his hands going a little bit, but He also looked like he was looking for a couple of fastballs, and he didn't get a fastball in either time, and now he's behind in the count 0-2. And that time he's able to hold up.
That was only pitch number 76 in the 6th inning for Sonny Gray, and there's your setup, and there was a hold up on a very good curveball in the dirt. Parker last night at 100 pitches in 9 innings, and where Gray's pitching tonight, he's looking at least 7 to 8 innings as a possibility.
One-two pitch inside, and the count is even now 2-2. Morales with a strikeout and a ground out. And he chases the breaking ball, and that's going to be strikeout number 6. So Morales never saw a pitch that he was looking for, and he ends up striking out. So Sonny Gray's on a roll. He's lead 4-2. Brought to you by GoPro, the world's most versatile camera. GoPro, be a hero. Bottom of the 6th inning with the A's leading 4-2 over the Mariners. A's will send up Young, Reddick, and Callaspo.
Center fielder, number 25, Chris Young.
Beautiful night. A little breezy, a little cool, but not a bad night to watch the ball game. So Saunders settling in nicely as he goes to work here in the bottom of the 6th. 85 pitches. Actually fairly remarkable, as he threw 40 in the 1st inning. I want to know that Chris Young, who has walked in, hit into a 6-4-3 double play. And now it's 2-0. Shallow center. Saunders come hustling in, and he's going to get there. So Young is retired, and that's out number 1 here in the bottom of the 6th.
It's kind of a batting practice fastball. Saunders saying something to Chris Young as he's headed back, and he might have said, "Throw it like a man." That's smart pitching. When you get a 2-0 and a hitter geared fastball, just take a little bit off of the good fastball. Call it a batting practice fastball because it's not the true everything he's got. Very good pitch there.
Reddick with a walk and a strikeout so far. Reddick was 1 for 5 in the series. He has struck out 4 times, and he's not getting any help there.
Was it appeal to third and just enough for Eric Cooper to see at least the bat cross the plate, enough for it to be called a strike.
Just a bit low, so the count 1-2. Callaspo will be next.
So far, thankfully the A's had a big first inning because they've done nothing since the first against Saunders.
A's with 4 runs on 5 hits in that first inning. And that one rolled right side. Shift was on, a little double clutch, but Miller is able to throw out Reddick for out number 2. Are you on Facebook? We want to hear from you. Be sure to like the Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area Facebook page for breaking news, exclusive features, giveaways, and more. CSNCalifornia.com. It's your interactive home for authentic Bay Area sports. So 2 outs for Callaspo. And that one drops low, 79 miles an hour on that pitch. Callaspo's had a good night. He has singled twice, a couple of hard hit balls up the middle. Callaspo with the Athletics is now 13 for 46. He got off to a little bit of a slow start with the A's, but that's a big hit since then.
Back-to-back games in Toronto where he had RBI doubles, 2 RBI doubles back late in the game.
In the hole, under the glove of Miller, and Callaspo is 3 for 3. Callaspo for this season has been a better hitter right-handed than left-handed, and he has showed it tonight.
And 3 changeups from Joe Saunders. Started with the changeup, took one, and then pulled it foul, the second one. Miller jumping as if he thought he might have had the ball in his glove, but he did not.
First pitch to Sogard is in for a strike. Sogard has lined out and singled. His single was a bunt single. He's with 10 hits in the game, but they've ended into a couple of double plays. Actually, the line-out double play was the 3rd double play tonight. Ended the 5th inning. So Sogard chases that pitch. He's going to go for a little walk.
Guessed incorrectly, got the breaking ball, could not hold up his swing.
He does not do that very often.
No, and I think with Joe Saunders, with his ability to throw any of his pitches for strikes, and percentages show maybe a couple of pitches he does not throw as much. He's just smart enough to know that he'll continue to do things that, to the point that you almost have to just look for the baseball, not think about percentages and number of times he throws certain pitches, because you go just the opposite.
Another breaking ball as he tries to get Sogard to chase that one. He does not. So Saunders now over 100 pitches, with Moore loosening up for the 3rd time tonight out in the bullpen. Saunders again grabs it, flips to first, side retired, to hitting a runner left. So we're on to the 7th inning from the Coliseum. 4-2 A's.
And may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Athletics Investment Group, LLC.
The Chevron STEM Zone will be at the O.Co Coliseum Saturday, August the 31st. Chevron created the STEM Zone to help kids interested in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics outside the classroom. The hands-on baseball-related learning exhibit will be located behind sections 217 outside of the bar and grill during the August 31st game against Tampa Bay. For tickets, visit oaklandathletics.com/tickets. Should be a good day. All the iPads and all your phones, technology. August 31st is a big day. A lot of things going on.
Yep.
That's when the A's return and the Tampa Bay Rays in town. So the series begins with Baltimore to Detroit and then Tampa Bay.
And then after that, isn't it Texas?
Texas right after that on the Labor Day.
How about that? Stretch of games for the Athletics.
I think the interesting thing for the Rangers when they come in is how they're going to get to the park. Because the Bay Bridge is, I think it's the time for the Labor Day it's going to be shut down.
Advantage A's.
That's right.
No question about it. Advantage A's, that's what we're looking for.
Whatever it takes.
Of course, there are some A's players that
in the
city,
right.
so
that's right.
May balance it out a little bit.
Well, there'll be a Bart Wednesday in there in that series, so maybe that will be a way to do it.
2-1 to Raul Ibanez leading it off, so there's the stretch. You'll leave on Thursday for Baltimore, 3 in Baltimore, 4 in Detroit, and then come home. So that is a good stretch of games against some very good teams. And the road trip, go to Baltimore, it's a tough ballpark to play in, and it's become, now that the Orioles are good again, it's got a pretty good vibe going at Oriole Park at Camden Yards, and Detroit is pack them in pretty well. Strike called, and it's 3-2.
Might have been a gift, so you better take it because it looked like it was a little outside, maybe even a little high. Raul Ibanez thought it was a ball. He's been around long enough to know the strike zone and started but stopped.
Two pitch, bounce to Fryman, who handles a tough hop. So Ibanez ends up grounding out, and I think you're right. I think the A's got a break.
Well, that's big because that could have been a leadoff walk, and Ibanez is not going to complain, but I think that look on his face says it all. So
now
instead of
number 17, Justin Slink.
That's when Nate Fryman does take it. Sonny Gray not able to get there.
So 1 out.
I think Raul waited to get in the dugout to discuss the pitch.
Smoke is 0 for 2, and Sonny Gray, on the other hand, has retired 11 out of the last 12. The only one he didn't retire was a walk to Saunders in the 5th inning, and that stretch started right after the home run.
I remember 118 pitches and 8 innings at a start Thursday, his first at the Coliseum. Tonight he's right at 86 pitching in the 7th inning, so a well-rested bullpen thanks to the 9 innings last night by Jared Parker. Decision time for Bob Melvin and Kurt Young. Based on the pitch count now and where he was last Thursday, 8 innings might be a possibility. We'll see after this inning what he has.
That's Doolittle under there. One-two pitch in the dirt. So then you have an off day Thursday. So whatever happens tonight, your bullpen should be in pretty good shape for the road trip. Smoke swings, and he just barely got a piece of it.
He swung. It looked like he completely missed it. And Derek Norris, well, he did foul it. Could not hang on. Very difficult for Norris to catch the foul tip off the top of his catcher's mitt. Thought maybe he had it in the mitt.
Another 2-2 pitch. Strike 3 call. Beautiful breaking ball from Gray. And that is strikeout number 7.
Had to buckle some knees, and he could throw it, the curveball to lefties and righties, and that one just a freezer, because there's no way it's thrown hard enough that Smoke took his stride, planted the foot, and then oops, please don't be a strike. Was, and an excellent pitch.
So Morris steps in and he rips at the first pitch and fouls it back.
I talk about a 12-6 curveball. Former pitcher Bill Gullickson is the one who taught the curveball to Sonny Gray. A very good curveball. Gray's is outstanding. I think the confidence in which he throws the curveball is amazing, because he'll throw at any count like that.
And it's 0-2.
That is picture clock, 12-6. The number 12, the number 6, and it drops straight down. And that's the way he throws the curve.
Goes with the fastball, runs high. So Doolittle starts to throw. That one hit toward Donaldson, who scoops it up. And another 3-up, 3-down inning. And that is 8 in a row retired by Sonny Gray. And it's 7th inning stretch time at the Coliseum. 4-2 A's. 4-2, A's lead. Sonny Gray, 7 innings, just 2 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, and 7 strikeouts. Franklin's home run, the only damage done. So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up, your oil change tune-up and smog experts. It's Brandon Marr coming out of the bullpen now. As Ray said, he started against the A's earlier this year. Very high ERA, so he won a job in the rotation out of spring training, and the Mariners were excited about the youngster, but he has not had a good year. And a 1-2 pitch, and Lowry swings and misses, and that's out number 1 here in the bottom of the 7th.
Fans, even if you aren't an A's season ticket holder, you can still get 2013 postseason rights. That's right. Just place a deposit on a 2014 and 2014 A's ticket plan and secure your place in line for the 2013 playoff tickets. For more information, call 510-638-GO-A's or go to OaklandAthletics.com/deposit. And you don't want to be shut out. And even if you're not, you got a chance just to put a deposit. And that's how easily it can happen. The A's get to postseason. It's an exciting time. The Tigers found out last year. The A's found out last year. And the A's have experienced in a long time.
And that hit Norris. Not quite sure where. Hit him in the helmet?
Yeah. Well, and they want to check him, and not a bad idea. Walt Horn, because it's a curveball, but it did hit him in the helmet, and the fact that he took his helmet off.
It could hit him in the brim.
Yeah, the brim, exactly. As he took a stride and turned away as the curveball is coming in. And
got the catcher, too.
Yeah. But when you get hit in the helmet, and maybe he was taking it off to check the helmet, but you can hear the bang bang.
Base hit left field. So Norris to second. He'll stop there. Well, the A's have 2 on and 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th.
Well, after the breaking ball hit Norris' first pitch fastball to Josh Donaldson, he wasn't wasting any time. Think about it. It's pretty smart hitting by Donaldson, because he knew that the curveball was a pitch that Mauer threw hit Norris, so he's probably thinking he's not going to try it again. First pitch to me, sit on a fastball, get a little bit added aggressiveness, and after the home run his first at bat, solid single this time.
And here's Cespedes. Cespedes is 1 for 3 in an infield single. Hughes, that one foul. So a hit batter and a single, and the A's have something going here in the 7th. Popped up. Coming over is Smoke, and he has got just enough room, and he makes the catch, and that's out number 2. So Cespedes is 1 for 4. So Fryman's spot, but Moss is going to come out and hit. So Fryman with a home run tonight. he is going to be finished for the evening as Moss hits.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the Athletics, batting for Simon, number 37.
And no possibility of another pitcher because nobody's loosening up. And Bobby Thompson, Clark Willis staying with Mauer and realizing that if it got to this point, it was going to be Brandon Moss. The guys are in the platoon. And his first catch, you're seeing a lot of pinch hitting. And as a result, the A's having a lot of numbers when it comes to pinch hitters, number of at-bats.
So Moss steps in, and the first pitch is a breaking ball blocked by Henry Blanco. So this was it last night.
He's strong, and that showed it. 400 feet straight away on a low fastball, about 97 from Caps.
Looked like it may have had a little backspin on it too, and that'll certainly help a ball carry, even if the conditions aren't great for a ball carry. Two 2-0 the count. See Moss gets on 2-0 from Brandon Marr. He got a breaking ball and hit it off his foot. So a 2-0 curveball.
Yeah, it got him in the back foot or the back shin, the left, the protection on the right foot. That you don't expect. And you don't want to walk out with a double shin guard.
The shin guard on the back leg. Now, you don't see that very
no. Unless you just want to be a catcher.
Good slider there. That was a hard slider.
Makes you think, would he throw anything else? It wouldn't be something that he's going to throw or think about throwing after back-to-back hard sliders down and in.
And he did throw him another breaking ball, and he rolls this one into the Mariners dugout. Special baseball, I guess, huh? This one hit high to center field. Saunders is going back, settling under it. He's got it side retired. A's strand 2. They've stranded 7 through 7 innings. It's a 4-2 game as we head to the 8th. 16th Annual Breast Cancer Awareness Day, presented in part by Bay Area News Group, Comerica Bank, Nelson Staffing, and Ross Dress for Less. Since 1999, the A's have donated more than $1.25 million to breast cancer awareness, education, and research. To join the fight, purchase a special $26 ticket, and $5 will go directly to the American Cancer Society. For more information and to purchase special tickets, go to oaklandathletics.com/survivor. 4-2 A's lead, top of the 8th inning. So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up. Your oil change, tune-up, and smog experts as Doolittle comes in. So Doolittle here in the 8th inning.
Well, as we know, it's all about matchups, and Brandon Moss stays in the game at first base, and whether it's Ryan Cook or Sean Doolittle in the 8th inning, it usually is about who is due up, and in this case, got some lefties. What a job by Sonny Gray again, back-to-back starts.
Doolittle starts Saunders off with a breaking ball. Saunders has walked twice and scored a run. He scored on Franklin's home run. That was back in the 3rd inning. Inside again with a fastball, 2-1. Henry Blanco to follow, and then the top of the order, Brad Miller. High and headed to the seats down the left field line.
It's not surprising to see Sean Doolittle, and a good idea, throw a first pitch slider to this left-hander, because you saw what he did on the 2-1 fastball. He's geared for it. Most hitters will gear up a little bit extra, expecting the fastball from Doolittle. He's got a good one, but the slider has been an important pitch for him.
And now full count. Fisted right up on top of the A's dugout. So close. So close. Three-two pitch, again foul left side. Yeah, the guy with the glove came roaring in there.
Huh. It's like fan interference.
Exactly. Made life difficult for the whole row.
Three foul balls with 2 strikes, and Sean Doolittle, which you're not expecting to see him throw a slider, but if he did, it probably would fool the world, including the hitter. But pretty much stay with the fastball. I think that's what he would do.
And it's lying just past Sogard in the left center field. So Michael Saunders, after walking twice, lines a single. And that's a heck of an at-bat against a very good left-handed pitcher.
Well, this fastball down, and he just dropped the head of the bat on it. And seeing more and more with the low fastballs, hitters, righties or lefties, all they have to do is just get the bat started.
So Blanco steps in, a strikeout and a fly ball to center field.
And Blanco, as he did against A.J. Griffin, he just joined the Mariners, he'll ambush, and that's what they talk about, is he's aggressive. And ideally, you want him to try to roll over and pitch outside. It's a ball on the ground, pretty good chance for double play.
And that's a shot toward left. Cespedes over, and Cespedes had it, and he dropped it. Saunders is going to go to third. Hustling to second is Blanco, and it's second and third, nobody out.
Well, that's too bad because that was in his glove, just could not hang on. That's going to be a pinch runner for Blanco, but not surprising to see him jump on the first pitch fastball. Hit it hard, hooking away from Cespedes, but he had it in his glove. Great jump. And just maybe closed the glove a little bit too quickly. And he could not hang on.
Brendan Ryan for Henry Blanco.
So it goes as a double. So second and third, nobody out, and Miller is the hitter. So that's Ryan. Brendan Ryan's going to be the pinch runner.
Well, you'd have to think as Cook gets loose quickly, it's kind of roll over the top of the batting order. It changes as far as the matchups are concerned.
Miller is 0 for 3. First pitch, a slider that is outside. So trouble here in the top of the 8th inning. Miller 1 for 7 in the series. And he pops it up. Coming back is Norris. And it's going to drop right into the first row.
And there's just enough breeze that probably took it into the first row. The view quarters with the wind blowing the flags a little bit, and that breeze might have been just enough from left field view quarter to take it in, because it looked like it was going to be almost straight up, maybe halfway back to the backstop. Well, there's a lot of foul territory down the lines, not behind home plate.
And that one is looped into left center field, and that's a base hit. 1 run scores. They're going to hold the back runner. And Brad Miller comes through. He reached for it, poked it into center field. RBI. Saunders scores. Ryan stops at third, and it is 4-3.
A very good at bat. Got the slider, and just as he did last night against Jared Parker in the first inning, just flared the ball out to left field, and with the runner at third, Chris Young did a very good job to charge the ball to get it back in to prevent the other run from scoring. He needs to play halfway.
So here's the switch hitting Nick Franklin, who hit a 2-run homer in the third, but did that left-handed. First pitch a bit outside. So the Mariners coming strong at the A's here in the 8th inning. And that fastball is a strike, 94 miles an hour. Seager, left-handed hitter, is in the on-deck circle.
First and third last night, late. Jared Parker got out of it. Sean Doolittle trying to do the same. A strikeout would be huge, especially against this switch hitter.
And it's popped up, coming over on deck circle and into the seats. So the count 1-2 to Franklin.
First and third in the 8th inning last night. Parker, strikeout, good changeup. Pop-up foul, caught by Josh Donaldson, and then with 2 outs, even better. Change up again.
And here is Franklin again. And the pitch is hit foul to our right. Single, double, single for the Mariners here in the 8th inning. That one not close. 2-2 the count. Miller, the runner at first, has 3 steals in 4 attempts, and that coming in 46 games, so not a real big base stealing threat. Infield in, and the pitch is lined to left, and that's a base hit, and this ball game is tied. So fastball right there, and Franklin ripped it to left. He's got a 3 RBI night, and now we're tied 4-4. And there's still nobody out. 4 consecutive hits off Sean Doolittle, and quite frankly, I didn't think I'd ever say that.
No. But you know, the one thing we've seen from Sean Doolittle, and it's really nothing against him, is the fact that his pitches now are down lower than they were last year when he first came up, and all Franklin did was start his bat and then drop the bat head on a low fastball.
So we'll be back. Cook coming in.
California is brought to you by Xfinity, home of the most live sports, and by Toyota. Do the math and save at your local Toyota dealer.
So tough outing for Doolittle. 4 hitters faced, gives up 4 hits. 4-4, 2 on, nobody out, and now the heart of the order for Seattle. Miller at second, Franklin at first, Seager the hitter. Seager goes after the first pitch from Cook. So Cook comes in for appearance number 55. He last pitched on Sunday against the Indians. Gave up a hit, no runs, and a couple of strikeouts in that outing. Swing and a miss.
A great changeup.
He's throwing it more, isn't he?
He's throwing a lot more, and great against the Indians, and that is like a turbo sinker changeup because it goes straight down, thrown hard enough that the hitter gets fooled.
Seager is struck out, flied out, and grounded out. Lays off that one. So Seager 0 for 7 now in the series.
I think this says a lot about Bob Melvin and his thought process in this particular situation. He brings a right-hander in to face 3 lefties. They're going to just try to change it up after Sean Doolittle had 0 luck against 4 batters.
Seager lays off again. That looked like that changeup again from Cook.
Started a little bit too far outside. He started the outside corner and just kept moving away. The one that he swung and missed was more towards the middle of the plate.
Inherited runners stranded. 13 out of 19 for Cook. So he's got 2 inherited runners right here to deal with. Rolled foul, so went with the changeup again. I don't think he threw a changeup last year, did he?
If he did, it was very infrequent.
If he adds that to his arsenal, that's
really, it's like a hard screwball.
Yeah,
the way it goes down, and of course the screwball just kind of floats, but has a reverse action on it. And it's almost, if you throw it effectively, throw it right at the hitter and have it break in the middle of the plate.
And Seager watches that one. Pretty good take there from Seager. He was down 0-2, and he's worked it back to a full count. Decent speed on the bases. Would Robbie Thompson have him on the move? Pitch is outside. He walked him, and the bases are loaded with nobody out. So that's the 3rd walk issued by the A's tonight, and there's still nobody out. And now the switch hitter Kendrys Morales steps in. He's the cleanup hitter.
Now the unfortunate thing for the A's, they have to play the infield play at the plate, 8th inning and a tie game. Morales does not run well, so if they can get a ground ball to one of the infielders, it could be a double play the hard way.
And he swings at a slider and he misses, and it's 0-1. 6 grand slams by the Mariners this year, most in the majors. And that one to the backstop, and the Mariners are going to take the lead on a wild pitch. It's 5-4. So everybody moves up, and now it's 2nd and 3rd.
Well, that was the changeup, the hard changeup, and Derek Norris, a backhand, really didn't have a chance to put his body in front of it with the backhand attempt, and as a result, spiked into the ground.
So obviously the infield has to stay in. And there's a strike. Morales took a fastball. And now he's behind in the count 1-2. That one bounced. Play at the plate, and he is safe. Franklin got in there, but he's hurt. A very close play. Norris tried to block him off. Norris thinks he did.
Well, he might be saying he never got to the plate.
So there's an argument, there's an injured player, and there's a run scored, and it's 6-4.
Well, unfortunately, it was a high chopper to Callaspo. When he threw it, was to the first base side of the plate. And Derek Norris tried to put it down, but by the time he reached back, I don't know that he was able to get his foot down enough. It was the slide, it looked like, that Franklin tore his uniform at the knee.
It's very close. This will be your best look right here.
Yeah,
Watch the left foot.
Yeah,
he was safe.
But it just looked like he had to go to the right to reach for it and come back. And
so you're saying he couldn't quite get his left leg over far enough.
And Derek Norris is hurt also.
Norris is walking off, and he's walking slowly.
He tried to his left knee, left foot, something when he tried to block, and maybe Franklin hit him and hit him hard enough that Derek Norris was arguing, but all the while he obviously was hurting.
So it goes as a fielder's choice RBI. Still nobody out. The runners are at 1st and 3rd. So this inning has really turned completely ugly.
Watch the left foot of Derek Norris. He had to reach back. And then something with the knee. Looked like as he tried to block him, and then when Franklin hit him.
So Vogt will come in behind the plate.
Your attention, please. Ladies and gentlemen, defensive change for the Athletics. Now catching and batting in the second position. Number 21.
Two guys,
Stephen Vogt.
one from each team, come out on one play. We don't know if Franklin is out of the game.
Well, it's kind of hyperextended there. The left knee on the heel, and then the right leg trying to balance himself. But even as he was arguing, he had to be in pain for him to come out of the game.
So Vogt is in. He'll get a couple of warm-up tosses. So Seager's now at third. Morales again gets a fielder's choice and an RBI. That's his 67th RBI. And it is a 4-run 8th inning.
Still nobody out.
Still nobody out. Hard to believe.
You know, we've talked about in the past, and
Now batting,
it is nothing
number
against the A's
28,
bullpen, but there are times that a starting pitcher is
Ibanez.
pitching so well, you can't wait. You don't care who comes in, because Sonny Gray was dealing 2 hits in his 7 innings. Jesse Chavez gets loose, but you know, it's just we can't hit the starter. We just hope somebody comes in out of the bullpen or taking chances there.
Ibanez lines one just fouled down the third base line. So you're saying there's a whole dugout that has watched Sonny Gray do his thing, and they're like, good. I don't care how good Doolittle is, but we'd rather see him.
4 hits in this inning. You look up, there are only 2 given up by Sonny Gray. And it was the home run, and it was the double by Ibanez. That was the second home run, and third, and after that, nothing. Had a walk. Feel badly for Sean Doolittle, because his success, and really you start looking at things that happen. You have to go back to drawing board a little bit.
This one's hit deep down the right field line, but foul.
And it's just the 8th inning. It's not like it's the 9th. It's the bottom of the 8th inning, and the A's, of course, a couple of opportunities to swing the bat, but they have to find a way to get out of this inning and minimize any additional runs. Not allow any. This is the tough part of the batting order, especially with Ibanez.
Ibanez with a double and a couple of ground outs. And he lays off the fastball, and the count is 1-2. So Doolittle gives up 4 hits and 4 runs and doesn't get anybody out. Up high again with a fastball. Double? No, single, double, single, single walk, fielder's choice. That is what has happened. And that's a good take, and from 0-2 to 3-2 again. So maybe that's part of it too, Ray. You got to give the Mariners hitters credit, because they've had some very good at-bats.
Saunders started it.
Yeah.
The 2 strikes.
Terrific at-bat. 3-2 pitch. Pop foul, a slider that was up a little bit. And that one is a ball. And that looked like a pretty good pitch, but unfortunately, Vogt didn't catch it.
You know, he acted like a cross-up, but that would have been just one sign with nobody at second.
It'd be interesting to see the replay on just where this pitch was.
It was a strike, and it's like he started to catch it one way, turned his mitt the other, and then just missed it.
So it goes as a walk to Ibanez, who was behind in the count 0-2, and now Smoke hits. So Kurt Young checking in with Cook, who has faced 3 hitters and has not gotten anybody out.
Now batting, number 17, Justin Smoke.
So Smoke steps in against Cook. So Cook has thrown 19 pitches. First pitch to Smoke. Big swing. And it's 0-1. Seager at third. Morales at second. Ibanez at first. Morales, the runner at second, does not run very well. Swing and a miss. And it's 0-2 to Smoke.
It's an interesting line. 0 for 4 with 4 walks.
That's a good call. High down the left field line and foul. So Doolittle through 19 pitches. Cook about to throw his 23rd, and here it is, and that is hit hard but foul down the first baseline.
You have to wonder now, with the bullpen well rested as a result of last night's complete game by Jared Parker, but now the difficulty in the 8th inning, what's that's going to do tomorrow? Well,
that's true.
Off day Thursday, but you know, 2 of your primary setup men, and Doolittle and Cook bow for it down in the bullpen, thinking he might be pitched the 9th. And
Smoke swings and misses, and Cook went with a fastball and gets a big strikeout. So Smoke strikes out for the 3rd time.
And there's still hope that Balfour will pitch tonight. This is just the 8th. And that's a good running fastball, tailing away from the left-hander.
Michael Morse.
But now the infield can at least go halfway. Think about a double play if they get Michael Morse, who is very aggressive. Hit a ball on the ground. So what you have to be concerned about is Morris swinging early.
And he does, and he swings at a slider, and we've seen Morris do that this year.
And all the more reason not to give in and just throw him a fastball, knowing that he is going to be aggressive.
So 0-1. Morris is 0 for 3. And that one to the backstop. Seager comes in to score, and it's 7-4. So it'll be another wild pitch. And Bob Melvin's coming out. So Bob Melvin is going to get Jesse Chavez, and we're going to have a pitching change. So Cook struggles, as does Doolittle, and here comes Jesse Chavez. ugliest inning of the year. And the A's bullpen, well, they don't have ugly innings, but unfortunately they're having one tonight. Jesse Chavez comes in for Cook. And you wonder, Ray, talking about tomorrow, you wonder if Bob Melvin's saying, listen, if I get Cook out now, I may have him for tomorrow.
You know, and Ryan Cook seemed very upset that he came out, which is understandable. He wanted to finish the inning and get out of it.
And a pop-up that Sogard grabs in front of Callaspo. Not sure which one's taller. In this case, I'm going to say it was Sogard. But a big out. So Michael Morse cannot get it done.
Well, the fact that it's a big out because, remember, first base is unoccupied. This ball drops because of lack of maybe communication, and Sogard just barely got it in the heel of the glove. I got it. But from Ryan Cook's standpoint, I think that's exactly right. It's more of, all right, this game they've got 3 runs. Yeah. The Mariners do have a 3-run lead. Not going to leave you in there and maybe lose you for tomorrow. So let's see that Ryan was upset, wanted to finish it, but I think that's more of the whole situation. Don't throw that many more pitches.
So they're going to walk Morse, and Brendan Ryan, who actually pinch ran, is now going to hit, and that does not happen very often. You pinch run for the second hitter of the inning, and then you get to hit.
What if he's going to stay in the catch? Pinch run for Blanco.
There's a story for you.
Elmore did it last night for the Houston Astros. Came in to catch and he stayed in to pitch. Went in the record books. It said 13 players have done that. Houston Astros at 11-run inning. Blanco, he left for a pinch runner. That's Ryan, who now is hitter.
And the first pitch is good fastball at the knees to Ryan.
So you put him down as a pinch runner, and do you put him down as a pinch hitter? Put him down as a catcher or as a hitter, yeah.
Good breaking ball, and it's 0-2. Morales, Ibanez, Saunders are your runners. Swing and a miss. So Ryan sees 3 pitches. He strikes out. And when it's all said and done, the Mariners score 5 times in the top of the 8th inning. All right, game summary brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. This just happened, and it was ugly, folks. This is the top of the 8th inning. The Mariners scored 5 runs on 4 hits. They sent 11 hitters to the plate. There was a couple wild pitches. There was 3 walks issued. There was one of the hits that should have been caught by Cespedes, but it went as a hit. And a 4-2 A's lead turned into a 7-4 Mariners lead. Close play at the plate. Both of those guys, Franklin and Norris, left the game. So it was ugly. And we hope that both Derek Norris and Nick Franklin are okay. We have not heard anything, but they are both out of the game. So A's will try to come back. It'll be Young, Reddick, and Callaspo, and it'll be a new reliever for the Mariners, Yorvis Medina. Medina is a pretty hard thrower. First pitch is high. So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up. Your oil change, tune-up, and smog experts. 2.61 ERA. Breaking ball stays inside. Changes on the infield as well. We'll give you those in a minute. 2-1 to Young, who has walked, hit into a double play, and hit a fly ball to center field, and now it's 3-1. And it is a leadoff walk in the bottom of the 8th inning. Hey, Ray, you want to drive your manager crazy? So here's your wholesale changes. Endy Chavez is in the game in right field. Ryan comes in after pinch running and hitting, and he's now at shortstop. And Miller goes from short to second. So,
and a new catcher too. Everybody else, because Blanco's out of the game, unless he snuck back in. So,
yeah, that is Humberto Quintero. So here's Reddick. Reddick is 0 for 2, walk, strikeout, and a ground out. And he swings and misses. Pulled off that pitch, and it was moving away from him, so the count is 0-2. The Mariners used 2 relievers last night, Furbush and Capps. And 0-2 pitch, Reddick swings and misses, so he strikes out for the second time. So that's 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th inning.
Well, all of a sudden, a very good curveball. There's the chase curveball. There's a pitch you're hoping a hitter swings at, and it's out of the strike zone. Nice block by the catcher, Quintero. Then it's amazing that Medina could go from not being able to throw a strike to Young, the right-hander, then lefty throws it very well.
So here's Callaspo, who has had a big night. Callaspo has singled 3 times. All of those hits were off of Joe Saunders, who gave up 10 in 6 innings.
They just gave up the 4 runs. And that's the biggest thing in this game, because it was a 4-run first inning. But Saunders settled down, gave up no additional runs. In fact, the A's have not scored since the first inning.
And Saunders, 40 pitches in the first inning, but he goes 6 innings. Yep. So, that's going to be, whatever the outcome of this game, certainly if the Mariners were to win, that would be a significant story in the game, that Saunders was able to do that. But there's a little bit of time left. The A's trail 7-4.
It'd be great for Sogard to at least get a hit here to drive home Chris Young, making a 2-run game. Yeah. You have a couple of wild pitches in an inning that allows 2 runs to score. That does not help your defense to try to get out of the inning.
up and in to Sogard. The Rangers won tonight 4-2 over the Houston Astros.
Looking at Jed Lowry, one of the players, Max Stassi, was traded for Jed Lowry. DH tonight for Houston, got a couple of hits.
That's right, I saw that. Max Stassi in the big leagues.
He said he had 17 home runs in AAA minor leagues for the Astros, so he got called up, and 2 hits and 3 at bats against the Rangers.
Two-one pitch, fastball with a lot of movement on it, but outside. So 3-1. Young is at second base. Sogard trying to knock him home, cut into this deficit. Not close, and he walked him. So 2 walks in the inning, and the tying run will come to the plate, and it's Lowry.
Now batting, designated hitter, number 8. Yeah.
How about a ball in the gap down on the line drive, and not tried to hit one into the wind because it is blowing. We could feel it coming into the booth up here.
It's been breezy all night.
And that's why the pop-up behind home plate that just landed in the front row, and that was in the inning that could have been a first out very early, but it wasn't. And right field is not blowing, but left field is blowing in hard. We can feel it up here, which means that the ball hit in the air is going to be knocked down by the wind.
Yeah, I think it's more breezy tonight than it was last night.
Yeah, you're right. So hit it down the line, Jed.
And a good swing and a fastball. 2 for 4 tonight for Lowry, a triple, a single, and a couple of strikeouts. That one rolled foul. Boy, Medina, he's got a lot of movement on his pitches. It's Furbush, the left-hander. On the other side of the field, Grant Balfour starts to throw. Bounced slowly. Miller to Smoak. Side retired. So the A's get a couple of walks. They strand them both. 9th inning coming up, 7-4 Seattle. Cafe celebrating 40 years of bringing it to the plate. Stop by Eric's and enter to win 40 years of free sandwiches with character. So it's the 9th inning. Jesse Chavez came in. Got the final out of the 8th inning. Who faced Miller. First pitch, and it's lined to left. Cespedes coming in, and Cespedes cannot make the catch. Miller with a huge turn, and now he's got to hustle back. So Cespedes reached down, but just could not come up with it.
And he just slapped the ball the opposite way as he did in his last inning, and Cespedes at least slowed the ball down and no, just never got the glove down to where he could get under the ball. And Miller decided, because he would have been out by plenty if he'd tried to go to second.
This is now the catcher spot, Quintero. Quintero with a big swing and a miss. Blanco was pinch run for, so that is why Quintero is in the game. Bunted, and it's picked up by Vogt, and he throws it into center field, and Miller never stopped, didn't have to slide, and he's going to go to third. Well, Vogt, he made a nice play by jumping out and grabbing the baseball, but it almost looked like, Ray, that everybody else was kind of in slow motion.
Yeah, well, there wasn't enough time really for anybody to get to second. Vogt came out barehanded, the same move, made the throw to second, and unfortunately to a vacant base. And you're right, because on a bunt, usually second baseman goes to first if the first baseman is charging. But now they're questioning whether it was a fair or foul ball. I think, unless there was some interference by the hitter.
Well, the ruling is a sacrifice and an E2.
If we play it, we'll see where the hitter was in regards to where the ball was. Ball hit the plate. Was the I think it's more interference there, is what Bob Melman's questioning, because it's called it a fair ball. The home plate umpire did, but the hitter, Quintero, did not run. He stood there probably thinking the ball was foul because the ball was in on him. Did the ball hit him? Did not. That's another question of possibly, because the ball did stay inside and came straight up. So Quintero's standing there. He's pointing fair, and meanwhile the ball's in center field.
So Seager is the hitter. First and third, nobody out. Seager takes a fastball on the inside corner first time. Seager had a big at bat in that 8th inning. He was down 0-2 to Cook, and he battled back, and he ended up walking. Now he's behind in the count, 0-2 again. Danny Farquhar is the Mariners reliever up and throwing, and Farquhar has been there. He's been closing games for him recently. Oh-2 pitch, slap foul. So Miller at third, Quintero is the runner at first. There's Farquhar, who been throwing a little bit, but he'll wait till the inning goes on. Seager with a shot down the right field line, and it's just foul. Couple feet maybe. He
wanted it, didn't get it. It just kept hooking, fortunately for the A's, and Not even close, just barely at the edge of the grass of the warning track.
So another 0-2 coming to Seager. And he got him with a breaking ball. So Seager 0 for 4. And an RBI guy, they always get real frustrated when they leave RBIs out there.
That's why he's a little bit upset. See him mouth a few words after the ball was just fouled on the right field line. And then a very good curveball from Jesse Chavez. So the starter, Sonny Gray, throws a very good curveball. The hitters had a chance to try to hit, couldn't. And now Jesse Chavez comes in throwing the same curveball.
So here's Kendrys Morales, who is 0 for 4 with an RBI. He had an RBI fielder's choice. Close, but a bit low, maybe a bit inside. 2-0 the count. It's funny, the 3, 4, 5, and 6 hitters, Seager, Morales, Ibanez, and Smoke, 1 hit. Really been the top and the bottom that have done the damage. And really the damage was done in that 8th inning. And it's 2-2. Morales leads the Mariners in RBIs with 67. And strike 3 called. So back-to-back strikeouts for Jesse Chavez.
Another great curveball. Threw him a changeup for strike 2 and then painted the outside corner of the fastball. And that's a great pitch from Chavez, and he has all of his pitches working tonight. And of course, all the fans are saying, what about the 8th inning? Been a different game, and who knows? But you really can't fault the A's for bringing in Doolittle and Cook and trying to preserve a victory, a 2-run lead. It just didn't happen tonight.
So here's Ibanez. And a curve that stays a little bit up and away. Ibanez 1 for 3 with a double and a walk. And that one down around the knees.
One thing Bob Melvin talks about is the importance of every reliever in the bullpen. Not just certain guys. Everybody does their part, and we've seen what Jesse Chavez has been able to do. Dan Otero, of course, and Jerry Blevins, Dean Shack warming up, and then of course you have the 3 in the back of the bullpen. Everybody's important. Right now, just trying to at least be 3 down going to the bottom of the 9th inning.
So Ibanez now in a hitter's count at 3-1. Smoke is in the on-deck circle. The 3-1 pitch is rolled foul.
Might as well drop the curve on him. Well, don't have to give in. There's a base open, happens to be second, but Chavez is capable of throwing strikes, so it's not as if he does walk him. He has to worry about walking somebody with the bases loaded, but he's going to be sitting dead red in the fastball.
And he got a breaking ball on 3-2 and it dropped low, and a good take by Ibanez, so the bases are loaded.
That's probably the veteran status right there of Raul Ibanez. Maybe thinking along with Chavez that he might throw him a curveball, and
Now batting.
Just a strong young man, even at his age, to be able to stop a swing on a very good pitch by Chavez.
You know, and you're probably right, Ray. A young hitter probably swings at that.
Absolutely. He's aggressive, thinking fastball.
Driving a run.
Yeah.
And Smoke rips one to right field, but Reddick's going to get over, and he's got it side retired. So when it's all said and done, the Mariners do not score. They leave the bases loaded. Bottom of the ninth coming up, 7-4 Seattle.
Rewind. Sonny Gray, 7 solid innings to get in. A great curveball tonight. Fastball, spotted it well. But just another outstanding performance by the rookie right-handed starter for the Athletics. Third start. And in all honesty, he shut out the Astros. But the start in Toronto, not a lot of support because of a couple of errors, 200 runs. And tonight, how about a Raleigh stash? Raleigh stash, that's right. That's what Sonny Gray did tonight. As he threw 94 pitches, a couple of walks, 7 strikeouts. He walked the batter, one batter in front of the home run. But just another great performance. Just 2 hits by the right-hander.
So on most nights,
it's enough.
With the A's bullpen, that's going to be enough. Not the case tonight. But it is still only a 3-run game. And it's Danny Farquhar who comes in. He's got 7 saves. And his first pitch to Vogt is inside. You saw the strikeouts. 60 strikeouts in 40 innings. He pours that one in there for a strike to Vogt.
Remember the Athletics for a brief amount of time. So going back to Toronto.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Well, he has pitched a handful of times against the A's this year.
Yeah.
He's got pretty good stuff.
Well, they just showed a very good curveball that Stephen Vogt was way out in front. And another one that misses high, but one that he swung and missed was off speed, good location.
So 2-2 to Vogt. Donaldson to follow, and then Cespedes. And there is that good breaking ball, and they're going to strike out for Farquhar.
This pitch just breaking down and in. Hard, sharp slider down and in for the left-hander.
Now batting, third baseman, number 20, Josh Donaldson.
So here's Donaldson.
Now, the number of closers the Mariners have tried to use this year. I mean, that's been the biggest position for them to try to settle in on one.
And really, last couple years, it was Brandon League, but he was kind of off and on, and then they traded him. Wilhelmsen was pretty good last year, not so good this year. take in all the way, and that's right in there first drive.
Everything looked so promising in the first inning. Donaldson, within 3 batters, the A's had a 3-0 lead.
Breaking ball that hung up, and Donaldson fouled it straight back. And this one's popped up, playable. Looks like the shortstop Ryan is going to take it, and he does, and that's out number 2. So the last hope to get something going is Cespedes.
It's amazing. You think about the great game of baseball and so many things and what one thing or another might do, and Cespedes catches the ball, or maybe the ball that's found back behind home plate looks like it's an out just in the front row. But 8th inning could have had a whole lot different than.
Well, if he catches it, it's a runner at first and 1 out.
Yep.
You know, and you can go by what happened after that, but you don't know if the same thing would have happened.
Yeah, because that second and third time runs on base.
It would not have been a 5-run inning, put it that way.
No.
Cespedes is 1 for 4. Shoots that one foul. You're going to base it in the 5th inning. One-two pitch outside. A's postgame live coming up right after the ball game. Remember, radio only tomorrow for the 3rd and final game of the series, a day game, 12:35 first pitch. And now full count. Cespedes trying to get aboard with Moss in the on-deck circle, and he swings and misses, and that's how the ball game ends. Well, that's a disappointing finish to the game. The A's had a 4-2 lead going to the top of the 8th inning, and the Seattle Mariners score 5 times in really what was probably the ugliest inning of the year. So some things you don't expect to happen, and it was a big comeback by the Mariners against the very fine A's bullpen. 7-4 is your final. Seattle wins it. You've been watching A's baseball on Comcast Sportsnet California. Don't go away. A's postgame live with Scott Reese and Shooty Babbitt starts right now.